Welcome back to the kickoff. Today we're talking Antonio Conte's post-match rant after Spurs drew 3-3 in the dying minutes against bottom of the table Southampton. Let's look at what he's got to say. He really doesn't look like a happy camper here, bless him, does he?
In this moment, when we play a game, everything can happen. Usually my team, they show great stability and not ups and down.
So he's talking here about previous teams he's had and saying that usually they're very stable, solid, and with this team, it's ups and downs, anything can happen, they're inconsistent. Why might that be? Let's look at the history of this geezer. He won the Serie A with Juventus 3 years in a row. When you look at the fact that they won those 3 years, and then they continued to win another one. Another one. It may have something to do with the fact that Juventus just have most of these teams for the vast majority of that decade outgunned in Serie A. Now, to be fair, he also won the Premier League with Chelsea in 2016-2017. However, Jose Mourinho won it with Chelsea not the year before, but the year before that. So it wasn't like he took over a struggling team who wasn't winning things. That wasn't Chelsea now. That was Chelsea with one of the best squads in the Premier League by a mile. So they went from first under Conte to fifth under Conte. They went from 93 points to 70 points. So I think we can all agree that that team declined under Antonio Conte. I get his point. He's not used to a situation like Spurs, but the reality is the Chelsea team he took over, the Juventus team he was in charge of, were in completely different situations. It's going to be harder. So don't compare it to your previous teams because that is irrelevant right now. You're here now, bro.
We are losing what the work that we did last season. But I don't speak about tactical aspect, technical aspect. I'm talking about the spirit, about the sense of responsibility.
So he's saying that they're losing what they built last season. And he's not talking about the technical aspect or the tactical aspect. He's talking about the spirit and the heart. That is very coincidental because the technical and tactical aspect is all his responsibility. But the heart and spirit, he is physically saying that is within the players. That is their fault, not my fault. Technical and tactical, well, we're not even going to talk about that. Why not? Why is that not a factor? I'm not saying he hasn't got a point here, but this man is a genius at deflecting. Someone needs to call it out, like.
And against Southampton, and you are winning 3-1, and you feel the perception. My perception is can happen everything in every moment, and to be scared what happened.
So he's using the 3-1 scoreline that was at the part of the game where they were winning as, oh, we were here, but yeah, I still couldn't relax. I still didn't feel like, I was still scared. I still felt like anything could happen. And he is saying that that's down to the mentality of the players. That is what is he alluding to. However, when we look at the stats, you're conceding more shots than you're actually having as Spurs. You conceded 19 shots to Southampton, 7 on target. You only had 3 on target. Yeah, you were scared because tactically and technically they were all over you for periods of that game. That's not just a mentality thing. They had 51% possession, Southampton. This guy is fucking annoying me right now because I'm not saying the mentality of the players is perfect. We all know what Spurs can be like. But this is unbelievable, the way he's deflecting here.
How do you fix that, and how frustrating is that for you as a manager?
Yeah, but this frustration, it's not for today.
Well, it is for today because you're bringing it up, pal. You should ask them a good question. How do you fix that? Because make no mistake about it, it's your job to fix that.
It's right to keep the eyes open and to tell the truth.
She's just asked him a good question and he's absolutely avoided it. And now he's saying, well, I've just got to tell the truth. Well, if you're going to tell the truth always then. Don't pick and choose what you're telling the truth about, pal. But the reason he's avoided that is because it's his job. Do you think when Eddie Howe took over the absolute lunatic asylum that Steve Bruce left behind, where people were trying to fight the manager, do you think he had unity? Do you think he had selfish players? I'm pretty damn sure he had selfish players. But it's your job to bring everyone together to change the culture. You've been there plenty time now. So don't tell me, oh, we've got selfish players. It's been your time to fucking root that out and to sort that out.
Another alibi. You try to find alibi or an excuse for the players. Okay, continue to do this. To find excuse for the players. You do only this. Excuse for the players. Yeah, but the players players, maybe my future, and then...
Oh, he's really losing his shit now. Like, bearing in mind I'm a Newcastle fan and we're chasing Spurs for top 4. This is great. Have you ever seen The Wedding Singer, where the guy's behind the curtain? He's losing his mind and I'm reaping all the benefits. That's exactly what I'm saying right now.
You do only this. Excuse for the players. Yeah, but the players, maybe my future, and then okay, they lost confidence, they lost spirit, they lost to be a team. Excuse. Try to protect.
He's saying it's a bunch of excuses, but what they're trying to do is find the reasons behind a team not performing as good as they can do. And by him putting it all on the players, well, why have a manager then? Why do we have managers if managers can't impact teams, if managers can't improve teams? Why bother? Why did Man United go and get Ten Hag? What was the point? This guy is just completely absolving himself of any responsibility, and it's unbelievable here.
The club paid us a lot of money. The players receive money. Me receive money. You understand? Not to find excuse and don't have spirit or don't show the sense of belongings.
It's ironic that he is saying, oh, let's stop making excuses, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's blaming the players, not me. It's them. And he might be right, but he's a hypocrite at the same time.
This is unacceptable for me, because this is the first time in my career to see a situation like this.
That's because you've had a wonderful selection of football clubs. Spurs, while it is a difficult job, is a great job to get in England. You've got Harry Kane. He's basically a cheat code to get you out of jail, no matter how you're playing. Yet this man is acting as if he's taken over a relegation battling side and he's got it so hard. Cry me a fucking river. This is supposed to be the Italian hard man, is it? Fucking whinge bag.
And until now, I wasn't able to change. Not to change, but compare last season, the situation went to become worst.
Okay then, so at least he's admitting one thing. It's getting worse. Right, okay, it's getting worse. And why is it getting worse when you've had them for longer and had more time with them to improve them, to make your stamp on the club, and yet it's getting worse? Why?
Why? I don't know, because they are used here.
Why? Because they are used to it here. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress.
They don't want to play under pressure or stress. That is just such bollocks, man. He's not actually saying anything that anyone can quantify or argue with. He's just calling his team bottle jobs. And I understand Spurs have a reputation for that, but equally, they've been in the top 5 spenders of the last 2 transfer windows. They've brought you players in. They've given you time. They've given you money.
Tottenham story is this. 20 years that there is the owner and never won something.
They've never won anything for 20 years, so therefore, it's not my fault. It's been this way the whole time. Then why did you come in, bro? Why take the job? If you think they're a bunch of losers, which is what you're saying here, why did you come in? You came in because you believed you could be the difference. You would be the different one, the one who could make the difference. And now, you're not doing that. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm not as good as I thought I was, I thought this, I thought that, whatever, you're just literally saying, oh, well, it's not me, it's all them. They've always been shit. This man is saying that we get paid a lot of money. Well, fucking act like it then. Do your job. Because if I'm a Spurs fan, while I'm sure Spurs fans might agree with some of what he's saying, you're not being productive here. This is not positive. You're not helping anything here. Throwing your players under the bus never works. It's proven. You might get one result, but the more you do it, the worse it gets. And this isn't the first time he's done this.
I have seen the manager that Tottenham had on the bench. You risk to disrupt the figure of the manager and to protect the other situation in every moment.
So he's basically saying the players always act in their own interests. I mean, let's be real. Name me a football club where that doesn't happen. Unless you have a manager who has an immense amount of power, the reality is the manager's on his own and just hoping he gets these players to buy into his philosophy and to like him and to want to play for him. And you know a way to not do that? What he's doing right now.
Until now, I tried to hide the situation, but now no. Because I repeat, I don't want to see what I have seen today, because this is unacceptable. Also for the respect for the fans.
Oh, for the respect for the fans, is that right? Well, what are you respecting the fans now by basically turning their football club into a joke by losing your mind like this in a press conference. I appreciate passion. Passion's good. But show that in the fucking locker room to the players. This is a man who's out of ideas. And let's be real. Let's not act like tactically he's tried everything he can. He's been a fucking one-trick pony. Park the fucking bus and lump it to Kane and Son, hope for the best. That's a lot of the time. That's what it's been like. And they're fucking terrible to watch. So for him to just be pointing all these fingers about attitude and literally not talking about anything to do with what's his responsibility.
Something thinks that we can fight. We can fight for what? With this spirit, with this attitude, with this commitment. For what? For the 7th, 8th place, 9th place? I'm not used to this position. I'm really upset.
This is about him as well, his own ego. What he's trying to do is do damage limitation on his own reputation and say, oh, it's them, it's not me. I'm not used to this. I'm still a top manager. This is because they're shit.
And everybody has to take the responsibility, not only the club, not only the manager, the staff.
Okay, I've had enough of listening to this guy waffle on. Let's have a look at the results this season. So going back to the defeat against Newcastle, I remember this game well, and, you know, to Conte's point, yes, they were soft. Yes, they could have battled harder, but that's also his job to get that into them and to instill that spirit into them. The way Eddie Howe has done at Newcastle when we have gone a complete 180 from being a bunch of soft bastards. So in that game, the main thing that struck me is despite the goal from Harry Kane, Spurs, who have always been a technical side, have always had some gifted footballers, weren't really much of a threat to us. I didn't feel, oh, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. We were comfortable in that game. And when he talks about the history of Spurs, well, you can't really deny that they've always had some technically gifted players, but you wouldn't have known it in that match. I mean, they lost 2-0 to Aston Villa at home as well in January. I mean, how can you justify that? You know, you're really telling me you don't have the players to beat Villa at home. They got pumped last month by Leicester 4-1, and ironically, that was Conte's first match back after having his gallbladder removed. They'd actually been doing a bit better without him there. I think they beat Chelsea 2-0 without Conte. I'm pretty sure they beat West Ham without Conte, and then when they welcomed him back, they lost 4-1. Fuck me, mate. Maybe you're the problem. No, I'm not saying that because I do rate Conte, but you can't tell me he doesn't have the players to beat Sheffield United, and yet they lost 1-0 in that one. And when you look at the players that Spurs have in Son and people like Richarlison, they look like they've declined under him. One of the things everyone's raving about at my club, Newcastle, is how players have improved under Eddie Howe. Tell me in the chat, who's actually improved under Conte? Because I can't sit there and name a single player right now who I genuinely think has like come on leaps and bounds under the sky the way other top managers improve players. He's coming off like a checkbook manager right now. I've seen Goldbridge supporting Conte in doing this, and I understand like what he's saying is from a fan's point of view, the frustration that fans feel finally having a manager to call out a shit show in public. Surely you're supporting that, but for me, it's about holding a club together as well. Do you not think Jurgen Klopp wants to come out and fucking vent his frustration about the way Liverpool have been run behind the scenes? But he knows if he does that, then what have the players got to cling to in order to stay as a unit? The way Sir Alex Ferguson did towards the end of his reign at Manchester United, sometimes it's a fucking circus behind the scenes, and you've just got to try and keep these players together and keep them focused to try and achieve something. And don't forget, Spurs are still very much in the hunt for top 4 right now. Is now the time to be going on like this. You're 2 points clear of Newcastle. Okay, we've got 2 games in hand, but 2 of them will probably be tough games. A managerial meltdown like this, yes, it might spur the players on. It might give them that last kick of gas to get over the line and secure 4th, but it could also get their heads to completely go. Let's not forget, Spurs finished above Arsenal last season and had plenty money spent. People were saying that they won the summer transfer window. For Conte to just blame this all on mentality when everything was set up for him to have a good season, and for people to just minimise this whole issue into, oh well, Spurs never win anything, it can't be Conte's fault. It's frustrating because that man is getting paid a lot of money, and for people to just say, oh well, it can't be his fault, he won a couple of things a while back, therefore none of this has anything to do with him. Oh my god, man. So you mean to tell me that this man trains them every week, gives them the team talk, sets them up tactically to outthink the opposition's manager manager gets paid 15 million quid a year to stick 10 men behind the ball, do the same thing every single time and hope that Kane and Son can make something happen up top. And yet we're just going to say, you know what, it can't be his fault because he did something a while back, therefore let's ignore everything because Spurs have always been average. Have they? The reality is if you look at the past 10 years roughly with Spurs, they're a top 6 club. Sometimes they finished third, second, third here. So I think Conte is doing okay with them. His frustrations are that of someone who is amazing manager and yet you lot are nowhere near up to his standards. Well, how come they were the club that were in for you and you went there then? If you're above them, you're not. You're just not doing as good a job as you thought you would and you're lashing out at these lads. So in conclusion, does Conte have a point? Yeah, to a degree. Should he be sharing that in public? No. This man chose this job. You took the job on and now it's up to you to bring these lads together and to achieve the best that you can. And by making a circus out of it in public, I don't think that that's productive personally, and I don't think this man is thinking of the long-term best for Spurs. He's thinking of his own reputation. Talk about selfish. You're being selfish right now, Conte, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments below. If I've got this wrong, Spurs fans, pull us up on it. You know, I do want to know what you lot have to say. Thanks to everyone who's supporting the kickoff. We've got new debate shows coming up. Don't forget to stay subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.